David, I'm excited to be back to be able to share with the American Fire team some of what is most important at American Fire. And from the moment that you and I got to know each other, it was extremely evident that values were extremely important to you. Tell me just a little bit about what that means and some of those values that are so important to you.
Well, I think the values comes from the emphasis that we place on our employees and our customers at the end of the day. So we opened up in 2002, and one of our customers that I had dealt with before calls me and says, "Man, I forgot about this bid. I forgot about fire protection, fire sprinklers." And it was a little different back then. We didn't get involved in the design stage as early as we do now. And I told him, I said, "Man, we're me and Cody and Craig, we're getting ready to open up our own thing." And he's like, "Man, David, I don't do business with a company. I do business with you." And he, a couple months old, we started our first job. That was Ashley House. He had no concerns whatsoever. There was a relationship there. We had produced and performed for him, and he knew the quality of the product. He knew that we would be out there and do whatever it takes to get it done. Whether it didn't matter to him if he had 100 framers on the job, and he knew that we would keep up with what the progress of the job was. And he knew that at the end of the day, we would install what he wanted and make sure the system was, had the integrity of performing when it needed to. So the company was built on those relationships. And I'm very proud to say that we have several of our original employees, and Stephanie is still with us to this day. She started with us in May of 2002. And it was kind of funny. Her husband works for us in another department. And Sean reminds me that when she said she was thinking about going to work for American Fire Systems, he's like, "Man, those three goofballs over there, and they're starting on a shoestring and a prayer, and girl, do you know what you're doing?" kind of deal. And she took a gamble on us and came over, and she has worn many, many different hats over the years. And she's kind of the backbone of really all of our administrative processes. She helps all the admins in all the different departments and branches, whether it's training, getting up to speed, learning our systems, if they have problems, if they go on vacation, she's kind of the go-to to cover for them. When Jackie goes on vacation, she covers payroll and takes that on. So she's been a huge asset for us, but she's still with us 22 years later. And
Man.
we've got several of those that have 20 plus years with us, and I'm very proud of the fact that as we've grown, it's harder to call it a small, close knit family, but it's still a family culture around here. So the values are, we respect what people do on a day to day basis. They work hard. They're willing to pitch in wherever they need to. And we've got customers that depend on us. They don't know much, if anything at all, about fire protection systems. They don't want to know. They just want to know that it got installed properly and that it's going to respond when it's needed, and that they're getting a fair price for it. And we've got several customers that, they may check our prices, and they may have a different lender or something that requires them to get three bids. But at the end of the day, they get to check and make sure that we're treating them fair, and they know what our service is. And I think, we try to strive for excellence with all of our customers. And if we go a little bit above and beyond and give them a little bit more, then I think they appreciate that. At the end of the day, we've got so many competitors out there that can do the exact same thing that we do. An FAL for American Fire Systems or an FAL for Western states, they've all got the same license. They know the fire alarm side. A sprinkler foreman, whether they work for us or work for North Star, they know the systems, and they can install it all day long. What do we do that's different? What do we do that sets us apart? And hopefully that is the customer service side of it. We look for opportunities to make their system a little bit better, try to think about them having to maintain the system later on. And we really try to look at it as if it's our project. And hopefully that's what we're instilling in our younger people coming in, that we really want to provide a better system, better customer service, and just be that person that they want to call no matter what.
Yeah, and you gave me the great opportunity to connect with a number of your key leaders earlier, and we asked them really about some of this AFS way, like what's the culture? How do you all approach this? And they were talking about things like ownership, right? We own it like it's our project. That, oh man, like this place is fair, this place is honest, just great people. Like all of that continued to come through, all the things that you are saying, and you, Dane, Lance, and I was there with you, actually started to talk about, and the three of you created this great statement, and it's we value integrity, excellence, our customers, and each other. Kind of bringing all of those things together that the team had said that you all have built over a number of years. We value integrity, excellence, our customers, and each other. And when you think about that, what does that mean to you, David? What comes to mind, and what does it drive you to do?
Well, I think integrity is the point of the spear. As long as we walk with integrity, then integrity to me that includes honesty. That includes owning any mistakes we made. That includes just looking out for the best interest of whether it's our customers, our employees, even our vendors. And I can give you examples. We've had properties that we've installed that 5, 6 years down the road, something's wrong, and they come to me and they say, "Hey, we're having a problem, and something happened," and I'm like, "Well, that was installed wrong to begin with. I understand it's outside of warranty, but we're going to go take care of that for the customer." And I want to make sure the customer knows that, because that's what they're getting when they get American Fire Systems. They're getting the integrity to stand behind that system. And even if it's outside of warranty, if it's something that we should have done different, then we have taken care of that several times. We've had vendors that have sent us, duplicate orders, and we get, a double shipment, and it's a mistake on their part. But we call the vendor and say, "Hey, we got this, and we need to send it back." And we've actually received products on properties that were billed to one of our competitors, and we're not going to keep that. We're going to call the vendor and say, "Hey, we've got this shipment that you shipped to the wrong job site, and it's for ABC company," and they'll send somebody over to pick it up. So the integrity to be honest with the customer, let them know if there's a problem, own it so that we can fix it. I'm a firm believer that if you just admit when there's an issue, instead of trying to point fingers, "Oh, the electrician didn't do this, the plumber didn't do this, the GC didn't do this." No, let's just, what's the problem? How do we solve it? Uh, no is such an easy answer, but it's the hardest one that I think is the easiest. It's easy to say no, but it's hard, and it's hard not to say no. It's hard not to point fingers and deflect. But I think the best character and integrity is to stand up and say, "How do we solve it?" At the end of the day, don't tell the customer no. How do we solve? How do we give them what they're asking for, and make their systems better, make them more comfortable? Because again, at the end of the day, they don't know enough about it to know whether the system is going to work or not, or how it's going to work. And if we don't teach them a little bit and then take care of our product, nobody's going to.
Yeah, man, if everybody owns their piece, right, you're going to create this just excellent work product, serve the customer so well, and this wonderful organization. And I've kind of heard you just talking through application of this the whole time, right? Of making sure we do it right the first time, making sure that we're treating other people like we would want to be treated, kind of all of those pieces. And if you were to encourage folks to say, "Hey, how can I live out these type of values in my day-to-day work? How can I make sure I'm operating with integrity, doing things at an excellent level, treating customers and the other people at AFS well?" What are a couple of things you'd encourage them to do, David?
Well, I think, again, if they go to a project, whether it's new construction, service, inspections, or whether they walk into the office, they have to take the ownership in the sense that they're providing a service to a customer, and how would they want to be treated if they were the customer? think about it from the customer's perspective, and whether it's getting paperwork a little bit more efficiently, or whether it is getting their inspections a little quicker so that they can start getting their COs. Think about it from their perspective and treat it like it's your own. The way we're structured, we try to put everybody in a position where they own their piece. And whether you're a foreman on a project, or you're an inspector on a project, or you're a project manager, the project manager is essentially responsible for every phase of the project from the time sales turns it over. They follow that project all the way through to the completion. And completion is when we finish out the warranty period at the very end. That's long after they're gone. So they have to be responsible for that. And we really try hard to stay out of their way, let them do their project, because for example, a project manager has a department manager above them. Well, that department manager is not going to go and mess around in their project every day. They are there for support. And at the end of the day, that's my job. I'm here to support the staff around me and do whatever I can to help them be more successful with their jobs and have the tools, whether it's software or tools in the field or new systems or new products. That's what I'm here for, is to support them and let them own what they're doing.
I love it. Empower the people. And as leaders, you all serve and support. You continue to show that. Thanks so much for sharing this. We'll have another one coming up here in the future. So appreciate it, David. Have a great rest of the day.
Thanks, John.